Okay, we are back with our Vibratory Tumbler, our Mini Sonic MT14. This is its maiden voyage. We have been running our Petrified wood, which was ready for the 500 aluminum oxide pre-polish, or stage 3. And we put it in 2 days ago, and we are going to take a look at it and see how it's running. You can hear the rotary tumblers in the background, and in comparison, this is super, super quiet. Let's get a good look in there. Now this is at a medium speed. It is an adjustable speed unit. We're getting lovely action in here. So let's turn it off. And let's pull out a piece. And let's clean it off. Let's see what it looks like after 2 days in the Vibratory Tumbler. It's feeling really nice. Got a nice matte finish on it. Feels really, really good. Obviously, we don't want to let it dry for too long because we don't want that grit in there. But I think this is definitely ready for to get totally cleaned off and move to 1000. So 2 days on medium speed worked beautifully. All right, we're going to go clean this unit and we'll be right back. And we're back with our Petrified wood. We have rinsed it really well. It has spent 2 days in the Vibratory Tumbler running 500 aluminum oxide pre-polish, and we just want to keep it wet. Take a look at it and see if it's ready to move to 1000 pre-polish, and it looks like it is. Oh, I thought that was stuck slurry, but it's really just cream coloring that's in the stone. Ooh, it's feeling good. I'm happy with this. So what we're going to do is take this lovely stuff and move it to 1000 in the Vibratory Tumbler, and we'll let it run for 2 days. Oh, there's our little piece that we keep looking at. It really did smooth out inside there. I mean, obviously we still have the pits and the valleys and whatnot that we were dealing with before, but it is petrified wood, so it's not going to be like regular stone. All right, this is just a quick update. I'm real happy with it. It's looking really, really good. All we had put in here was borax in the 500 AO, and what we're going to do is move this to our 1000 bin, our 1000 aluminum oxide pre-polished bin, put in 1000 ceramics. This is our 500 ceramics, so we'll keep it separate. Yeah, pretty quick update. I'm pretty happy with this. It looks like in 2 days we'll be ready to go to polish with any luck at all. So again, I want to keep these damp. Don't want them to dry out. We want to get our next bin and load it. And then in the current 500 bin that's now open, let's put our Salmon Moonstone from a couple days ago. It's just been waiting for the 500 Vibratory. So this is an interesting experiment. It's going to be fun. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, we are back with our Vibratory Tumbler after the wash cycles. And what we have in here is our peach moonstone and our 500 aluminum oxide pre-polish. And what we want to do is put in a tablespoon of borax. I think I'm actually going to put in 2 because it's a 4-pound hopper. Alright, and then I want to put in 1 tablespoon of aluminum oxide. So we've got our 500 aluminum oxide pre-polish. Oh, I like the way that vibrates in there. We have a lot of ceramics in there to help cushion the moonstone. And now all the ceramic media, the inside of the barrel, and the stones were damp when I put them into the hopper, which I guess is the barrel name. Okay, let's put that away. Now we're just gonna turn it up a little bit to kind of get the action started, to get a slurry starting. I don't want it to run this quickly, I just want to get the slurry started. And you see how it's starting to turn a little silver there? Adjust this camera, get a close-up action of it. Alright, now I want to slow this down to just between low and medium. See, I think we can just take this all the way to low, and you see how slow the movement is? Hang on. There we go. So we're going to want a little bit higher action, so I'm just slowly turning the lever to get a higher action. And with Moonstone being a 6 to 6.5 on the MOHS hardness scale, I don't want to beat the hell out of it, so I want to just have a nice steady action. We're about halfway between low and medium at this point. It might still be just a little bit too slow of an action. So let's just turn it up just a teeny bit more. We're still not to the medium level. There we go. Still not quite to medium. But we're going to let this go and put the lid on it. And man, you can't even hear it now. I mean, all I'm hearing is my rotary motors. So this is now going to run for 2 days. I'll check it in a few hours, make sure that it hasn't bogged up or doesn't need any more water added to it. I don't really think it does. So we're going to let it go for 2 days, and it should be ready to go to 1,000. And speaking of 1,000, in here is our petrified wood, and we want to turn it on. We're going to add our tablespoon of borax. Seal that up. And then I want to put in a tablespoon of our 1000 our 1000 aluminum oxide. I want to turn this action down. I like letting the vibrator move it out of the spoon. Let's close that up. Let's see if we can get a better look at the petrified wood. You can see it's already starting to get a nice thick slurry on it. And it's a MOHS hardness of 7, so it can take a little bit of a faster action. But again, I really don't want to beat it up, so I'm going to slow it down just a little. Yeah. Alright. Let's put the lid on it. We'll check on it in a couple of hours to see if it needs more water. And if not, if it does, we'll just add a couple squirts from a spray bottle. And otherwise, we'll check both these barrels in 2 days, and they should be ready to move forward. So these Salmon Moonstone should be able to move to 1000, and the 1000 petrified wood should be able to move to the polish barrel that I'm holding over here. All right, fantastic. As you can see, once these are closed up and you turn the action down off of high, it is really super quiet. I'm going to take this off the stand here. And the noises that we're hearing are the rotary tumblers. So we've got 4 3-pound barrels running here, 1 4-pound barrel, 1 1.5, and on the back is a 3-pound barrel. We have our other 33B and our QT66 are both empty right now because I'm trying to decide what I want to run. So we've got a lot of barrels opening up. So we're going to have some new projects starting. But this is just a quick update for next week. Okay. See how quiet she is? It does take up a lot of space on our bench. I'm trying to back up here. And then of course we've got an entire rack full of stones to choose from. Okay, we will check this in 2 days. Here's our Moonstone. It has been running 2 days in 500 aluminum oxide in the vibrating tumbler. It's looking pretty good. Right, let's turn that off. Let's see how our petrified wood is looking. It's been running 2 days in our 1000 aluminum oxide. Got a really good action to it, nice and good coverage. I'm going to turn that one off too. Time to clean both these barrels and we'll see if they're ready to move forward. Be right back. Okay, here we are with our peach or salmon colored Moonstone. It has been running 2 days in our 500 aluminum oxide pre-polish in the Vibratory tumbler. So let's take a look and see if it's ready to move forward to 1000. It's looking really, really nice. It's feeling really smooth. It is going to need a wash cycle. But unlike in the rotary tumblers where it goes for a couple of hours and 3 or 4 times, once or twice in the vibratory for an hour each cycle is perfect. To do the wash cycle so that there's no grit or polish carry forward. It's looking really good. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not finding chips or damage. The ceramic media still looks okay. Yeah. Let's dry this off a little bit. No, it didn't dry too much. The surface is looking really, really excellent. I'm very, very pleased with this. This is definitely a little bit of pre-polish left in there. Which is, you know, again, why we need to run wash cycles. Okay. I've gotten quite a few small pieces in here. I'm really surprised at how small everything has gotten. Okay, let's put this in wash cycles and let's move forward. And we're back with our petrified wood that has been running for 2 days in our 1000 aluminum oxide pre-polish. Let's just take a few out here and see how it's doing. We're already getting a bit of a matte shine. And the surface is looking really, really super smooth. There is still a lot of polish left in here. So we don't want to let them dry out too much here. Oh my goodness. There. Oh goodness, let's keep that wet. Oh, it's definitely ready to move forward. Super, super lovely surface on this petrified wood here. It's definitely ready to move forward. Oh, look at that. There's that piece we keep following. We've got... Normally we wouldn't have let these move forward with those grit catchers. But with this petrified wood, didn't look like we were really going to get what we wanted with the smoothness. Absolutely ready for a couple of wash cycles and to move forward to polish. Fantastic. All right, let's get these babies rolling. We'll see them in a couple of days. Little short updates here. Oh, I'm excited. This is looking good. Okay. We will see these in 2 days. Hello everybody, welcome back to Crystal Wellness Studios. Today is November 5th and we are finishing week 49 of our 52-week project. So let's dig in. Everything in our rotaries has been in stage 1, 60-90 silicone carbide grit. I had one barrel in 120, which is stage 2 medium. 120, 220 silicone carbide grit. That's all these lovelies. And then over here we have our 3 vibratory tumblers. They're all 4-pounders. It's our mini sonic MT14. We've got in the 500 aluminum oxide our Zebradorite. We've got in our 1000 aluminum oxide the peach Moonstone, and then we've got the petrified wood coming out of polish aluminum oxide. And then, yeah, we've got a lot going on. We still have about 5 barrels empty that we have not been running this past week. So we're going to have new projects starting. We're just going to see how everything moves along. All right, I'm going to set up and we will be back with our 60-90 barrels. Green Tree Moss Agate has been running for 2 weeks in our 60-90 Coarse silicone carbide grit, and it was running for a week in 4670 super heavy Coarse silicone carbide the week before that. So after 3 weeks, let's take a look. We did have ceramic media in the barrel last week. The slurries were really nice and thick. I've been very happy about adding the borax to the barrels. I noticed that I wasn't telling you how much borax to put in. And it's kind of controversial, but because people are saying don't add borax to the first stage of grit, and I think that they're wrong after the experiments we ran 2 months ago in September. We put the borax in a tablespoon per barrel size. So if it's a 3-pound barrel, we put 3 tablespoons of borax in. It makes the slurry really thick, and a thick slurry combines with the grit and really does a nice job on the stones. It really facilitates the grinding action. The same with all the grits, whether we're sanding, buffing, whatever the grit's purpose is, the borax helps facilitate it. So now this has a lot of cracks. It's just the nature of agate, but there is a lot of little tiny pits here that you can see on the surface, right here on the top. Trying to get a good camera angle to show you here. I want that ground out, so it's going to spend more time in stage 1. And stage 1 is always our longest phase. It could take a couple of months in some cases. And the more that it grinds away, we're seeing more and more of the pattern. That almost looks black, it's so dark. But you can see these little fine pits, and we're trying to keep the stones wet. So if there's any slurry left in there, in any of the grooves and pits, and pick a term, that it doesn't cement in there. Wow, that's got a lot of work. You can see how rough that texture is. All that needs to be ground down. The purpose of these inspections is to see if any of the stones are ready to move forward to the next stage. Sometimes we have to pull stones out if they're ready to move forward. That's called splitting a batch. Wow, look at This one's getting closer. So you see the surface on this side of the stone? You can kind of see how it's really nice and smooth. That's what we want the entire surface all over the stone to be. And if it is, and there's no sharp edges, no grit catchers, it's ready then to move forward. This piece is really close, but I think we can smooth that out a little bit more. So it's going to stay in stage 1. Again, this one is getting really close too. Okay, then. I don't really think anything is going to be moving forward. I did a kind of a quick look before we started here on camera. Great pattern. This, I would like to see if we can smooth out the edges on that a little bit more. I don't think we're ever going to get down into there without losing a lot of mass on the stone. But I think we can get it a little bit smoother. And then this end needs more Let's see, what else can we say about green tree agate? I like to keep things wet. Makes it easier to do the inspection, and it's easier to feel imperfections with your fingers than it is to visually see them. Really interesting. Nice big pieces on this. We're not losing a lot of mass, which I'm always happy to retain. Oh, that one's looking good. There were no chipping. There was no chipping of the stone, and the ceramic media is starting to look a little thin. And I'll show you that in just a moment. Yeah, see, we're getting really nice, smooth surfaces. You can kind of hear the siren in the background there. It must be 1 o'clock. I love those first Saturdays of the month. Now this I thought was slurry, and I said this for the last 3 videos. It's just the white that's in the stone. As you can see, it's not pitted. It's going to shine really nice. Wow. Really nice. That is host rock or skin or whatever you want to call it right in here. That is not grit. Just trying to get you a good close up to see that. I talked about a flat lap, a lapidary machine, and I had one, and the motor is shot, and I just have not gotten it repaired yet. I would almost want to just put this on the flat lap and just grind that out. Have a flat surface on there, but we don't have the machine, so can't do it yet. Wow, almost perfect. Gosh, look at this. This could actually be pulled out and held for 120. Now when we're ready for it to move forward to 120, it means there's no more grinding that needs to be done on the stone, and the 120 kind of, it's a finer grind, so it gets out the last little bit of the imperfections before it's ready to go for a pre-polish. And I just don't think this is ready. It just needs just the tiniest bit more work. A lot of these are close, so I really believe that next week we will be splitting this batch. We'll be able to pull some stones out, but this week everything stays in there. So the ceramic media is starting to get really thin and broken. Let's take a look at it here. So you can see these were like the larger pieces, and then these were smaller pieces. I have 2 sizes of ceramic media in here because it helps facilitate all the little nooks and crannies on the stones. But when it starts to wear, like it's, I don't know, probably been used 10 or 11 times, 10 or 11 weeks by the time it gets, starts to break down like this. And this media stays with anything that's in a 60-90. I have separate media for every stage, so there's no cross-contamination of grit. That you can see, we're starting to get really thin pieces. There's a broken piece right here. And these broken pieces, I like to pull them out. I know a lot of people keep it in and just grind it till it's nothing. But the problem is when it gets like this, it can get stuck in a pit on a stone, and then it's a real pain to get that out. And it happened to some yellow jasper earlier in the year. we had these little things get in. So I'm going to go through the ceramic media. I'm going to pull these little pieces out and throw them in the garbage. I just don't use them again. Yeah, I know a lot of people will continue to use it till it's just dust, but again, I don't want to be picking stuff out of the stone crevices. So things like that I will pull out. Got a few of them in here. But so I'm going to go through, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it off camera to kind of save a lot of time. And I'm going to take the green tree moss agate and recharge it for next week. It's in a 3-pound barrel. So we're going to put 3 tablespoons of borax to get that really thick slurry. Just enough water to where it's not below the top layer of the stones. And then I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of 6090 coarse silicone carbide, because on my Loratone 33B unit, the RPMs run with the 2 barrels in there to where I don't use up all the grit in a 7-day cycle. So that's why I'm using less grit than what most people recommend. And we did some experiments to kind of find that sweet spot, and I still think that 2 full tablespoons is just a tad too much, because there's still a tiny bit of grit left when I do the barrel cleanouts. So I think what I'm going to really do is 1 tablespoon and then 2 teaspoons of the 6090, and we'll see next week. So again, little tiny adjustments as needed. Okay, be right back. Carnelian has been running for 2 weeks in our 6090 coarse silicone carbide grit, or stage 1. Yeah. Don't know what to say. We had a chip in the barrel, which is not good because we had an awful lot of cushioning in the barrel. I mean, that's like a good quarter of the barrel is just ceramic media. Kind of see there's a lot in there. So even with all that cushioning, we still had a break. And that happens. And if it's going to happen in any stage, this is the stage we want it to be in. So that broke off. Now the job is to find out what piece it broke off of. It's going to require a lot more time in 6090. No doubt about that. There's a lot of rough spots on this, just a ton of them. A couple of bigger pieces. It's mostly quartz. Now, Carnelian kind of falls into 2 camps. One is, it's a chalcedony, and the other one is an agate. And when you get banding like this, it's more agatized, or an agate carnelian. Gosh, this is really popping. Beautiful. Our little druzy pocket is going away. It's getting ground down. But this one's more chalcedony than an agate. This is really interesting. Not sure this is going to last. Thinking this is going to get broken off at some point, but I don't see a fracture line, so it might, I don't know. It'll be interesting when we're done to see if that stays. Interesting. I like how that little flame line goes right through. Cool. So it's nice to have different sizes in here. Here's that shelf we were talking about last week. Kind of the way that it fractures when it's broken. I should just really hit that with a hammer and break this piece in half. I think I'm going to do that. This is that skin or that host rock. It has a lot of pitting that I want to see continue to work its way out. This is going to require a lot of grinding. There's going to be a long time to go. This will probably be the 8 weeks or so by the time it's ready to move forward. We got a couple that are getting close to 120 or stage 2, but most of this all needs work. Yeah. This is just, I'm just curious to see how long this is going to last before it just shreds and breaks into lots of little pieces. Yeah, this one's really close. I do like that. That is just really interesting. And this is dry because it's taken so long to get to these pieces. This is really close. But it still requires work. I haven't found that piece that cracked off. This is just, I don't know what it is. It looks like howlite, but I don't think it is. It's holding up too well to be howlite. Howlite's a softer stone. It's just neat how things grow. Oh, here it is. That's the broken piece. So the tip just broke right off there. So this chip is going to go in our chip barrel. We've got a project going on with stone chips, so we'll save that for that. And then this is just going to go back in the 6090, and as it grinds, these sharp edges will just grind right down. So, okay, so we found that. Nothing is ready to move forward, so we're just gonna put them all back in the barrel. So we're gonna recharge the barrel, and we are going to put in 1 tablespoon of 6090 plus 2 teaspoons of 6090, and then 3 tablespoons of the borax, and then this will be ready to go. Now all that ceramic media is sitting in the bottom. I'm just gonna shake this up for a second. There. Now it's all distributed. There's still, it's about 2/3 full, just a little under 2/3 full, and I'm all right with that. Okay, let's get this charged and back on the tumbler. All right, we'll be right back. So remember a couple minutes ago when we were talking about sometimes agate takes 8 weeks in stage 1? Well, this is Prairie Agate. This is the last of it, these last 4 pieces that needed more time in 6090 or stage 1. And the rest has been pulled out to move to stage 2, but it's waiting for these last few pieces. And I think, are we ready yet to move forward? To join the rest of its stones? I had been hoping and hoping and hoping that this would smooth out, and it just isn't. But I think I'm just going to move it. Tired of running it, and I want it to just run. And some stones just are never going to do what we want. Now, I'm not sure if that's still slurry. It's get our 6090 toothbrush out. This is it, yep. 6090 because we don't want grit contamination. And see, because grit is still catching in here, I don't want to move it forward. I think that's just the stone. This entire piece has a weird, this whole side has a weird texture to it. Let's see if we can see it. Kind of porous feeling. And I just don't think it's going to take a good shine. Kind of feels like it's being undercut. So instead of worrying about this, I'm going to just put it in the garden. Be done with it. Now I just felt a second ago something right here on the edge. There it is, right there. You can see it's just the minute little fracture line. But again, agates are prone to that. And that is just going to move forward because it looks nice and clean. It's not catching anything. It's just going to be the nature of that particular stone. All right, we are finally finished with our Prairie Agate in stage 1. These 3 pieces will go with all the others that are waiting for a barrel for 120. And we'll be running that. So these will get all the Prairie Agate. We'll get a wash cycle, or several, to get it nice and clean. And then we are going to move it to stage 2. Okay, we are done with Prairie. White King's Quartz has been running 6 weeks in stage 1, 6090, coarse silicone carbide grit. And let's take a look and see if any of this is ready to be pulled out. Now I know that we've been pulling some last couple of weeks here. It's kind of really hard to see this white, you know, the imperfections in here, but you can feel them, like that one right there. You can definitely feel it with your thumb, with your finger. Let's see, how are we doing here? It's just like there's a little, like one little spot on each one, and I think it might just be erosion that's opening up these little fracture lines that quartz is so prone to have. But the rest of the stone is feeling really nice. It's smooth, there's no sharp edges. I think we're done with King's Quartz in stage 1 as well. We're going to put it into stage 2. Gosh, I think this one could use more time. I'm not really sure we're going to be able to get that out. You kind of see the rough part right here. The rest of the stone looks good. Yeah, I think we're moving it forward. I think I'm being overly picky. I mean, there's been like maybe 3 pieces that could probably benefit for a little bit more time in stage 1. I'm not going to hold them back though. Okay, we're going to move it forward to 120. To stage 2. Our White King's Quartz is done with stage 1, so it's going to get some wash cycles, and then it's going to move to medium. Wow, that's really good. We got a couple things moving forward. All right, we'll be right back. Black Onyx has been running in our stage 1 6090 coarse silicon carbide grit for 4, 5, 6 weeks. And let's see if any of this is ready to move forward to 120. I don't think we've pulled anything out yet. So it's still not a split batch. But like the quartz, he seems to be having this fracture. It's fracture line here that we're just going to have to live with because that's just not going to grind out. It does appear to be getting some erosion, so it's just going to continue to get bigger. It's feeling pretty good otherwise. I don't know, maybe one more week. Any of this ready? This one's ready to go to 120. There's just some interesting stuff going on there. It's the host rock. I don't think that one's ready. This black onyx has some really beautiful patterns. Again, it's like it has stuff like this that I just don't think we're ever going to grind out without losing a fantastical amount of mass. This divot is perfectly smooth. It's not catching any grit. It looks like it'll polish well. Move forward. Just like lighting some natural divots in it. Fractures. All right, let's move this camera. There we go. Whew. There's a lot going on in this one. It's kind of hard to see that one cracking here. I don't think that's going to grind out. I don't know. That one could use a little bit more work. Oh, we have a whole line here. I think it's just going to erode. We're going to give it one more week in 6090. As this grinds away, the pattern is really starting to emerge. It's really nice. These are pretty large size pieces and they're all pretty uniformly large. I don't really think we're getting the grinding action that we want. So I put a little bit of ceramic media in here and I'm still not happy with the progress. I think we're going to go one more week. I'm going to put something else in the barrel with this. To see if we can, just to get a variety of sizes. I don't know. This may just need a bigger barrel. I I think the 3-pound, for the size stone that we're running here, I think that our 3-pound barrel is not giving us enough space. And we have very little, as you can see, we have very little ceramic media in here. And I'm just not getting that grindage that I want. So I think what we're going to do is move this to our 4-pound barrel, which will give us just a little bit more room for these big stones to rotate. You kind of see it's not getting a whole lot of action here. We're going to put this in a bigger barrel and let it run one more week in 60-90, and we'll see what kind of results we get. Okay, we'll be right back. Ametrine has been running in stage 1 60-90 coarse silicone carbide grit for 4 weeks. And we're going to see if any of it's ready to move forward to stage 2. And we do still have some rough. But like agates and quartz, we're getting a little bit of these fracture lines starting to erode out. They're not grinding down. The rest of the stone feels really, really good. And I think we might be done. We're going to see if there's anything left that needs... All that feels smooth. That's inside the stone. Feels a little crushed. That might just work its way out and cause issues. Let's just see. Ametrine is a cross between amethyst and citrine. Well, both components are growing in the same stone. You can kind of see the yellow in here is the Ametrine. This in the center. I just want them to be perfect. It's next to impossible. That's Ametrine on the tip. It's feeling fairly good. 1 or 2 pieces. I just need a little bit more. Alright, that's a divot, and that's inside. It's not catching any grit. Nice little rainbow reflection there. Refraction. Yeah, that needs more work. Well, we're definitely splitting this batch. And it's a small batch. It's only, I think there was only 1 pound of this, and it was in our 1.5 pound barrel. So if we're splitting this, we're going to have to start running it with some other stone to get it where we want it. That's a really nice piece, color-wise. Just trying to make up my mind. This is going to go to 120 or stay in stage 1. just that end piece right in here. Yeah, it won't hurt it one more week. All right, so we're half and half. This stays in stage 1, and this goes to medium. So we'll put this in a baggie, set it aside, wait for the rest of the Ametrine to catch up. We're going to put this back in stage 1, but it's going to have to be a mixed barrel with some other MOHS Hardness 7 stone. So I'll probably go in with something else that needs more time in 60-90. Okay, we'll be right back. Pink Aventurine has been running in 4670 for 1 week, which is our pre-stage 1, and then it ran in our regular stage 1, which is the 60-90 silicone carbide, for 1 to 3 weeks, and it is really progressing nicely. Now last week we split out quite a bit of our Aventurine, and this was the only pieces left over, and mostly because they were really huge pieces. And it's been running in our 4-pound barrel, and we just these last few pieces, because we're trying to work out just the last bit of imperfections before it moves forward. I don't know, that's just really a huge piece. And like 4 or 5 of these. Goodness. Things just dry out so fast. Really nice pieces. Okay. Still feeling just a little bit that I don't like. So we're going to continue to split this down. I think most of these little pieces are ready. All except that one spot. Yeah, that can go. There's another larger piece. Seeing this end here is pretty beat up. Won't hurt it to go in 60-90 for another week. Wow, that one turned out beautiful. Okay. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, the wrong pile. Okay, most of this is going forward. This one, I don't like the way that feels. Like a little more 60-90 will work. So we have 5 pieces that are going to stay in our 60-90 in stage 1, and the rest of these are going to get moved forward with our Aventurine that we're holding for our 120. Whoops. Well, that went everywhere. So until we have all that Aventurine ready to go, we're just going to hold it for stage 2. Okay, to finish up our stage 1 barrels, we have our Australian lace agate, which has been running, oh gosh, how long has it been running? It ran for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, or 18 days. I'm sorry, it ran 18 days in our pre-stage 1 4670 silicone carbide. And then we moved it, and it's been 2 weeks, and that's all, just 2 weeks in our 6090 stage 1. Now last week we pulled out a bunch that was ready to move to 120, and we're going to see how much of this is ready to go. It's been pretty nice to work with. It's absolutely gorgeous stuff here. It's feeling really nice. Anything going to 120, I'm going to put in this little bucket. Wow. Just look at this patterning. Now this is not Mexican crazy lace. This is actually from Australia. Nice agate though. You see we've got all this in here. I would like to have smoothed out just a bit more. And then this whole stone here, which looks like a smoky quartz, is really rough. All that needs to be ground out, so it still needs more work. I like the color variation. Oof. Oh my gosh, this is just, you know, fantastic. It's really just an overload on the colors and the patterns. We can see it needs more work. Wow. Really cool, but you can see there's a lot of little pitting, tiny pits in here. I want those ground out. Oh, not here. Yeah, more work. This feels a little gritty. I may not have rinsed it as well as I needed to. I'm feeling this right in here. Yeah, I'm not going to rush it. This is going to need a little more time. Gosh, these are just really cool stones. Now adding the borax made a nice thick slurry. But it still had like a little bit of grit left. Not a lot, just a little bit. So I think I'm going to reduce by 1 teaspoon how much grit I was putting in the barrel. Because these 7-day cycles, I want it to really run all that grit out. And I just don't want to do a 10-day cycle because it just doesn't work for me for washing out the barrels. There's a lot of work that needs to be done on that. I'm finding a lot that needs to move forward. Yeah, there's just a lot in here. Really rough. Wow. I love this piece. It is so cool. Yeah, that piece is ready. This is my favorite piece. But if you follow the shine on the surface. You see all these little micro pits? That's got to get ground out. It's just, yeah, got to get ground out. That almost looks like picture or like a polychrome Jasper almost. Yeah, I really thought there'd be more moving forward. Wow, crazy vibrant colors on this. This stone has all the beautiful colors of fall. Oof. Still needs work though. Alright, that's just a divot. Yeah, see, just a little. Alright, we do it with it dry. Can we see? Yeah, so you can see the little tiny pockets. Alright. I really thought there'd be more moving forward, but I guess not. No, there's just some on the end. Nope. I mean, once you can feel it, you don't even need to bother with the rest of the stone, because you know it's going back in. Alright. Yeah, nope. That's it. That's moving forward. So we'll put it in our little lace agate ready for 120 bag. Set it aside. Now, set that over there. All this goes back and recharged, and we will run it again in stage 1, and we'll see it next week. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, we are back with our stage 2 medium coarse grind. It's our 120-220 silicone carbide, and we have our tiger's eye. It's mixed. We've got mostly red tiger's eye, but we had some pieces of yellow and blue that were playing catch up. So let's take a look and see if anything's ready to move to 500. Okay. Oh, it feels beautiful. Very, very happy with the way this feels. This is an interesting piece. I like that little plateau on the mountain here. Piece of blue. Really lovely. Yeah, I think 1 week in medium was perfect. It's a piece of red. So last week we had a barrel open up, and this tiger's eye, we haven't seen it in a while. It's been sitting on the shelf waiting for a barrel, and we finally had one, so we ran it. Wow, look at that. Ooh, fantastic. This is my favorite piece. Wow. Really interesting piece of blue. This has been running in our 3-pound barrel. The slurry was really nice and thick because we've been adding the borax. We had 3 tablespoons of borax in it, and it made for a really, really nice thick slurry. I think it really did its job. There was very little grit left over. We had reduced the amount of grit that we normally use by 1 tablespoon. And I think that works on these smaller barrels on a 7-day cycle. Wow. Not happy about that divot, but there's no grinding that out without losing a lot of mass. So we just let it move forward and we're going to live with it. Like a little crackle in that. Goodness, can we get a... so it doesn't focus? Alright, there it is. That's really cool. It's got some red in there. Now red does not occur naturally. So it's yellow that's heat treated. And that's how you get the red tiger's eye. Goodness, it's drying out again. Ooh. Really interesting. Blue. Now blue is natural. Look at camera. There's so much pretty, the camera doesn't know where to focus. So we had a lot of, we ran all these tiger's eye as separate batches per color. And then we had little pieces left over that needed a little bit more work. And so I combined them all into one barrel so we can actually get a full one here. I could have probably used more time in 6090. This one we actually did a repair on, trying to open that fracture line so that it won't catch grit. But we didn't want to crack the stone because it was a really neat piece. Okay. So like I was saying, the red's heat treated, the yellow tiger's eye, and the blue tiger's eye is natural. Wow. The whole thing I think is ready to move. Wow, I am so stoked with this so far. Yeah, okay. So here is our red tiger's eye. And we've got our blue and our yellow. Wash cycles, and then it's going to go into the vibratory tumbler for 500 aluminum oxide. Like we noted last week, we finally put our vibrating tumbler into the mix, and it's been an interesting week. So every 2 days I have had to do wash cycles and move things forward, and I've been videotaping it, so we'll add those clips to this week because it all happened during week 49. But it's a lot of work every 2 days cleaning out those little tumblers and moving things doing wash cycles and moving things forward. A lot more work than I was anticipating, but it is coming up on winter, so I've got nothing else going on. So yeah, interesting how those cycles are going to work out. So I think we're going to be having a lot more stones that we've been holding, waiting for barrels and waiting for the vibratory. We're going to start working on some softer things. But yeah, so we're moving a lot of barrels around this week. All of our rotaries are going to be for stage 1 and stage 2. And then all of our pre-polishes and polishes are going to be in the vibratory. As a rule, and you know, we may make some exceptions as we go along for really tiny batches of really hard stones that we know will be fine in a rotary. I'm interested to see how these polishes are going to turn out. Okay, we will be back with our vibratory tumblers. Okay, we have moved on to our vibratory tumbler, and it's our mini Sonic MT14. So we've got 3 4-pound hoppers in this one, and we're starting with our 500 aluminum oxide stage 3 barrel, and it's running our Zebradorite, which is a Feldspar. And I think we put too much borax in it. I did 3 tablespoons and it made it really thick, and I had to keep adding water, and it didn't give me the rotation I really wanted. So next time I'm going to reduce the amount of borax to 2 tablespoons. But this has been running for 2 days in 500. It's looking fantastic. The surface is really getting nice. Trying to keep it wet, but then I want to dry it as I'm working on it. Wow. Now I'm going to dry this one because I want to see what the surface looks like. Because the purpose of pre-polish is to get the surface ready to take polish. And we're getting a small matte finish on it already, which we want to see. It's looking really, really good. Alright, now let's look at a wet piece. Kind of chase that shine a little bit and look for the surface, how it's doing. Oh, I'm really happy with this. Zebradorite. Interesting name. Interesting stone. I like the color variation. I love the peach one. And I like this orangey one. Love the color. Yeah, they're all feeling really good. So this is going to get a wash cycle with borax and Dreft baby detergent for about an hour in the vibratory, and then we rinse it, and then we do it again for an hour, and everything should be nice and sparkly clean and ready to move to 1000. As opposed to the wash cycles that happen in the rotary, which can run for, I don't know, 8 to 12 hours. Well, no, about 2 to 4 hours a cycle. By the time we're done, it's about 8 to 12 hours worth of wash cycles in the rotary to get everything nice and clean. Wow. Really, really amazing. It's feeling good. It's definitely ready to move to 1000. So after the wash cycles, we'll change out the, we'll put it in a different barrel. We're trying to keep the 3 vibrating barrels, one for each aluminum oxide stage. So we've got a 500, a 1000, and a polish. So 3 different barrels. We have 3 different ceramic medias that stay with those barrels. So no cross-contamination happens. Wow. Tickled pink. Oh, got a white one. Yeah, perfect. Definitely ready to move forward. Boy, that doesn't even look like Zebradorite. Okay. That's the tail for this one. We're gonna start the wash cycle. We're gonna move on to 1000 on that one. All right, be right back. And we're back with our vibratory tumbler barrel that is in 1000 aluminum oxide. It's our stage 4. It's been running for 3 days because I got lazy on the cleanouts yesterday. And we are going to see if this is ready to move forward to polish. And there is a little bit of slurry left, which we really need to be sure to clean out. So it's definitely going to need wash cycles. Now I've been reading on the forums how people are really liking an ultrasonic cleaner to clean the stones between stages. And with this, I mean, I didn't have this problem with the the rotary tumblers so much as the grit is getting just really jammed into any possible crevices. Oh, I take that back. That's not slurry, that's quartz. So I'm thinking about maybe I'll grab one of those and try it out and see how I like it. If anybody has an ultrasonic cleaner that they use to clean their stones between stages, I would love it if you'd leave it in the comments and let me know how you like it and how you use it and what size and brand you have. Because all these little tiny pieces, I would love to be able to run. Yeah, this feels perfect. It's absolutely ready to move to polish. I just need to make sure that we have all the slurry out of this, so it's going to go into a couple of wash cycles. Yeah. Gosh. So the vendor calls it Salmon Moonstone, but everyone in the real world calls it peach. Trying to get that out. I'm going to have to use a toothbrush on that one. I don't have it handy for this grit stage. I'll have to grab it. Okay. So you can definitely see where you missed a spot, or where there's little divots or whatever, because the slurry really packs itself in there with the vibrating tumbler. Absolutely soak this towel here. I don't care. That's what it's here for. Going really quickly because it feels beautiful and I want to keep it wet. Somehow I have less pressure with the rotating tumblers about keeping them wet. Yeah, it's going to need a toothbrush also. All right, absolutely perfect feel. So ready. Those are going to be perfect in a couple of days after polish. All right, I'm going to clean these two. I'm going to run a couple wash cycles and then we're going to move it to polish. All right, we'll be right back. All right, Petrified wood has been running for 3 days in aluminum oxide polish. Not crazy about it. I did have a little too much borax in the barrel, which caused it to slow down, and I had to keep adding water to it. But we're trying to, get our processes down. I'm not real crazy about this milky finish on here. And we're going to burnish it and get all the residue off. And then we're going to run it for another day or two until I get the results I like. Yeah, that's just not acceptable. I mean, it's got a good matte finish on it. Just trying to... Not happy. still in there. Yep, we are going to repolish this. We're going to do a burnish cycle, recharge the barrel for polish, and figure out what we did wrong. I mean, gosh. Bummer, I was hoping to have a success, but nobody ever gets a success first time out of the gate. And I've seen a mirror finish on petrified wood before, so I know it's obtainable. Oh gosh. Oh, I thought that was slurry. That's actual in the stone. That's not slurry. Well, that'll fake you out. Okay. Goodness, we're cleaning these outside. We got little stems in there. It's pretty windy. Let's see. Pine needles were dropping. Yeah, just not crazy about this. And this happens. I mean, you see there's a beautiful matte shine. The surface is okay. But we're just, and it could just be, you know, residue milky. That's why I want to do a burnish cycle before I make a final judgment. So we'll check back with this in a couple hours after a good burnish and make a decision. Okay, we'll use less borax in the next cycle. So it won't be quite as thick. I mean, it was like toothpaste thick. Just not getting the shine I want. All right. Petrified wood is going to go in a burnish cycle, and more than likely it's going to go back in another polish round. All right, we have new barrels coming up. We're going to move some things around in our rotation, in our rotary barrels, see how many barrels we have open up, and we combined a few, and then we'll see what new projects we're going to have. All right, we'll be right back. Okay. We have our mini Sonic with our 3 4-pound hoppers in here, and we are going to give them all a little squirt. Sorry about the camera angle here. We're going to start with our 500s. We're going to get them all ready for wash cycles. So I'm going to turn this on. And that's at the very lowest speed, and you hear how quiet it is. And I want to add 1 tablespoon of borax to each barrel. I'm going to turn them all on the lowest speed just to get this started. Water. And because these are wash cycles, I'm just adding generous amounts of water. Now I'm going to put in drop baby soap. And you can see it just sort of stopped its action. So I'm going to turn, speed up. get a really good rotation. It's medium. Goodness, I'm sorry about the tripod died. Medium. To add some more water. I'll be right back. We're back with more water. We want to get this nice and soapy. Good bath. We're not looking for a grind here. We're looking for movement for a good wash. Turn these up to get good action. These are not all the way to high, but we're getting a good rotation. I want these to get good and clean. And we are going to let these run for an hour. And then we will beat, and I'm going to put the lids on them. Oh, hang on. And we're back. I'm sorry about all the jerky camera movement there. My tripod doesn't work at this angle, so I kind of had to hold it by hand. So this is at our 500 1000 and polished hoppers. And they're all, so we've got our Zebradorite, our Salmon, Moonstone, and our Petrified wood all going through wash cycles. And these are going to run for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then I'm going to come back, rinse them out, and check them. And if they need another wash cycle, I'll give them one. If not, then we'll move them forward to the next barrel. So as you can see, we're just about... high would be all the way down here, so we're medium is straight up, so we're at between medium, oops, there, almost high. It's pretty quiet considering, you know, the rotators, or the rotary tumblers. All right, I'm going to turn the rotors on now. Rotating tumblers, and then we're going to start our new barrels. We'll be right back. Goodness, all over the place. All right, we've chosen our next project, and we're putting it in our 4-pound barrel. It's our Ocean Jasper. We've got 3 pounds of rough here, and it is, I did wet it so we could kind of see the colors and whatnot. It's pretty rough. Lots and lots of sharp angles that need to be ground down. There's some pitting. Yeah, we're gonna have some interesting patterns in this. It's already, we've got some chips, but I don't really care because it's going into a rough grind. Now, because of the condition of this rough, it's not all that super wonderful. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it this first week. No ceramic media because, you know, the barrel is about 2/3 full anyway. I'm going to run it in our 4670 silicone carbide, which I call pre-stage 1, because it's a really heavy grind, And we'll run it for a week. We'll take a look at the condition next week and decide if it's going to continue in that or if we can move it forward to a regular stage 1 of the 6090 coarse silicone carbide. All right, so new project, 4-pound barrel, Ocean Jasper.